to our presentation, A Tale of Two Peers, Exploring the Employability of Peer Helpers by Julia Cole, Alexandra Kuzma-Hunt, and Shannon Rush from the University of Guelph in Canada. We are excited to participate in this international forum and felt this was a good opportunity to share two peer helper perspectives. One from an experienced peer who was working full-time during her duties, and the second from a new peer helper tying their peer helper role to a specific career goal. We'll start by introducing our program and the role that our peers play. The Learning Peer Helpers are part of our Learning Services team within the McLaughlin Library. The Learning Services team provides learning and curriculum support to faculty and students at all levels on a wide variety of academic topics. Our Learning Peer Helpers help to provide services to undergraduate students in the form of one-on-one consultations, workshops, and resources. Peer helpers apply to volunteer within our program with a written application and an interview. Once selected, they participate in extensive mandatory training about student development theory, consultative skills, and study strategies. They then provide support to their fellow students in a variety of academic areas through one-on-one consultations and workshops. They also participate in independent projects that allow them to select a topic and create resources to help train their fellow peer helpers and provide resources for the student population. Now, we will hear some insights from Julia, who will share her experiences as a peer helper.
My name is Julia Cole, and I'm a fourth-year undergraduate student completing a Bachelor of Arts with a major in history. I have been part of the Peer Helper program since my second year of university, making this my sixth semester as a learning peer helper. Working in the library, I've taken on a number of roles, including one-on-one learning consultations with students, academic mentorship, creating handouts and other content for our team, and delivering workshops for the other peer helpers and students. This past year disrupted the plans that I had laid for my final 2 semesters at the University of Guelph. Being at home, I took courses during the summer semester to get ahead, being laid off from my museum job. In this time, I also researched and organized postgraduate opportunities, including law school and master's degrees. However, partway through the summer, I was offered another job in an entirely new sector, conservation and construction. Today, I'll discuss the ways that peer helping prepared me for a full-time job, a reduced course load, and continued responsibilities as a peer helper virtually. As well, I will explore how the application process for postgraduate studies was made easier by my peer helper experiences. Often arts majors such as myself hear the outdated assumption about our jobs prospects, that we won't find a job. However, graduates with a BA leave their degree with a great number of skills, many of which are shared with and encouraged by participation in a peer helper program. These skills include clear and concise communication, collaborating with a diverse group of people, problem solving independently, and being adaptable to the routines, requirements, and challenges of a new workplace. The growth of these skills accounts for why students, such as myself with a background in social science and humanities, and those in peer helping programs are often sought out by sectors such as finance, tech, and even conservation. What is perhaps the most important skill developed by peer helping, in my opinion, is the ability to work effectively in a group, playing off of the strengths of your colleagues. In team meetings, we are encouraged to communicate, share ideas, ask questions, and grow our knowledge in order to better help the student community. Peer projects allowed me to learn how to work on projects independently, see out a task from beginning to end, and share my findings with others, and take constructive feedback. Finally, the most recent semesters have allowed me to cultivate my technology skills, practice professionalism via email and Zoom, and learn how to regularly check in with my team. By cultivating these skills, putting myself out there to try a new and challenging role, and quickly adapting to the requirements of the job, I found myself learning and growing, along with viewing the best sunrises I've seen in my life. The ways that peer helping in the library helped prepare me for a full-time job occurred over time, and in the variety of situations that I found myself in over the years. Being in one-on-one consultations with students, I've developed professional communication skills, but also found positive ways to connect with others so that they feel comfortable. In the academic mentorship program, I help students make long-term goals, adjusted my knowledge to specifically cater to their concerns, and practice communication over email, scheduling programs, and video calls. When creating content for our peer team, including handouts and presentations, I learned to independently problem solve, critically analyze my own work before sharing it, and find engaging ways to share information with others. In virtual times, this included navigating technology, which was a very useful skill at a job that involved coordinating team members, reporting on site conditions, and dealing with tricky administrative work. From my own experiences on the peer helping team, I have learned how to check in with my supervisor throughout the semester, and more importantly, when I know that I am in over my head. Knowing when to ask for help extends to many workplaces and allowed me to properly learn my role and seek support when necessary. Finally, the balancing of a full-time job, classes, postgraduate applications, peer helping, and my own health and well-being would not have been possible without the time management skills that I have learned in my role in the library. Since going online, our team checks in with our well-being and normalizes the need to take breaks no matter how much work there is to be done. While studying and peer helping remotely, this was vital to remember. Looking to the future, there are many opportunities that interest me. Peer helping throughout my undergraduate degree has allowed me to develop personalized studying and time management skills that have allowed me to find balance and enjoyment in being a student. Continuing that, may it be in a master's program or at law school, either way, include challenging academics where these skills will be vital to success. What was fascinating about reflecting on my peer helping skills while applying to a number of law and history MA programs is that postgraduate programs are looking for many of the same skills that employers look for. Common interview questions and essay requirements asked about examples of problem solving in my life, how I'm able to adapt to new situations, and how I'm able to form connections with other people and the world. These skills, peer helping skills, seem to be life skills at the end of the day. They are the skills that both employers and postgraduate programs look for in their candidates, and in a few minutes we will discuss some activities that encourage the cultivation of these skills. Now, Alex is going to share his unique experience with peer helping and skill development.
Hello, my name is Alex, and I am a fourth-year biomedical sciences major, aspiring doctor, and first-year learning peer helper. If you are also interested in being a healthcare professional like myself, I'd love to share my experiences as a peer helper and how I believe they've contributed to making me an asset in the field of medicine. I will start by discussing the value I see in student consultations and how they are similar to the medical model in terms of their intention. During consultations with students, we utilize the advised model, which generally parallels the organization of a doctor-patient meeting. The advised model entails active listening, determining the student problem, evaluating solutions, identifying options, selecting those options, and then engaging with the student to see if this plan is going to actually work for them. These steps are generally consistent with the three core functions of a medical consultation, which is building a relationship, collecting data, and agreeing on a management plan to solve the patient's problem. Practicing the application of this model in a virtual context is especially valuable experience given that telemedicine is becoming the norm in contemporary healthcare. By engaging with students in this manner, I have become more comfortable in my organizational skills and ability to facilitate conversation in an online environment. I have also found that utilizing this model has assisted me in developing some foundational skills, which I believe all current and future medical professionals should possess. Such skills entail non-judgmental communication, active listening, constructive criticism, and expressing empathy in an online environment. By familiarizing myself with the dynamics of student consultations and improving my online interpersonal capacity, I feel as though I will stand out more as a medical school applicant. Secondly, I think that the Peer Helper program does a great job of providing numerous opportunities for peer reflection and personal development. Personally, I found that mock consultations with experienced peers like Julia were a very valuable practice, as I was able to get immediate feedback on my advised approach and what I could have improved for next time. I found this to be particularly helpful in building my ability to create an online environment in which students were comfortable discussing their academic struggles. Similar to the mentality of patients when they come to see a doctor, students are usually in a vulnerable position when they seek our help. Therefore, to actually elicit the student's concerns, it is important to ensure that as a peer helper, you display an inclusive, friendly, and supportive attitude when meeting with a student. Mock consultations acted as a risk-free chance for me to exercise these attitudes that would hopefully improve the experience of future students and patients. I'd also like to reflect on how the Peer Helper program has improved my abilities to problem solve and collaborate with individuals from various disciplines. In many professional settings, the ability to problem solve and apply critical thinking is highly sought after. In medicine, critically assessing the patient's concerns and deploying solutions is pretty much the basis of the doctor's role. As a peer helper, I feel as though a similar demand is present while evaluating student situations. While devising a solution that satisfies both parties, a peer helper may need to think about factors contributing to the student's problem which the student might not be aware of. For me, this meant learning how to strategically ask open-ended and thought-provoking questions. I found that engaging with students in this manner facilitated conversations in which they felt more inclined to share habits, behaviors, and approaches to school that usually unbeknown to them created their learning barriers. This experience is very translational to medicine in that doctors need to ask questions of a similar nature to identify underlying factors that may be contributing to a patient's health status. Finally, the Peer Helper program has provided me with the chance to work and collaborate with students from a wide variety of disciplines. This holds true for both the students I have met with and my fellow peer helpers. I believe that achieving synergy across disciplines is an incredibly valuable experience given that many medical issues are multifaceted and therefore demand multidisciplinary solutions. On a similar note, for patients to follow a treatment plan or for students to follow a study plan, they need to see its relevance to their goals. This again stresses the importance of collaboration between student and peer or doctor and patient so that both parties are on the same page. I hope that this discussion has provided some insight into how I believe my experiences as a peer helper translate to improving my chances of being selected into medical school and my capabilities as a healthcare professional. I'm going to pass this presentation back to Shannon, who's going to discuss ways we can articulate these specific skills in professional settings.
One aspect of this presentation that we hope you'll find relevant to your own role is learning how to articulate the skills that you have developed and how they are relevant to the careers that you aspire to. One of the ways in which a supervisor can support that is through including current volunteers in the hiring process of new peer helpers. On our team, our peers help us determine the skills and attitudes we are looking for in applicants, create interview questions, and help conduct the interviews. This gives them the opportunity to experience what it is like to be an interviewer. Changing their perspective in an interview situation gives them insight into how others articulate their skills and encourages them to reflect on how they conduct themselves in interviews. Another idea is to coordinate resume and cover letter writing clinics with your on-campus career team if you have one. These workshops help our peers turn their peer experiences into resume statements. And of course, organizing mock interviews between peers on your team is a great way for peers to practice articulating the skills they have developed in a low-stakes, interview-like setting. Some additional low-stakes activities that have helped our team learn to articulate their skill development include a stop-start-continue. Whether asking for feedback about a program or as part of a performance reflection, peers will write down one thing to stop, one thing to start, and when to continue. This encourages personal growth and reflection on strengths and areas of improvement. This, of course, can be done with a supervisor, individually, or with a group. Team icebreakers are another opportunity to grow team trust and practice communication skills in a low-stakes environment. Some of our favorite examples are wins and worries, one accomplishment from this week, and one thing you want to learn or you have learned in one of your courses. Another suggestion is a team takeover. This is an opportunity for your students or volunteers to take over some of the meeting time to do training or share something that they have learned or are interested in that would be good for our team or the students we meet with to know about. Some ideas include a summary of a research article, an app or a tool they use, or a study strategy that is working really well for them so far this semester. This is an exercise to develop communication, presentation, and collaboration skills. We hope that these ideas have inspired you to consider ways that you can encourage your student, staff, or volunteers to articulate how their role is contributing to their employability skills. Thank you for viewing our presentation, and please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.